Hola guys.
Hello.
It's Joe and Matt with
The Joe and Matt Show. No,
Tuning Tuesday. It's season 3, episode 23, and we're here to answer your guys' questions about tuning and tuning
all things
Things.
hexadecimal.
All things. Well, I'm not so good with the hexadecimal side of things.
You don't have to be.
That's more your side.
I'm gonna let you know you don't have to be. They have calculators that do that for you.
All right, I'm with it.
I look more at the symbols than I do the actual hex. Because there's
F.
That's all I know. FF all the things. Tell Eric Brooks about it. He'll understand.
Good old Eric Brooks. I have to send him my PCM still.
He's getting a pull
I got to
right
do that
now.
one of these days. He is. I saw the Facebook status. Congrats to you, Eric, about the pool. And
I looked at one, but I can't afford one because I can't stop buying other things.
so for those that are the astute individuals that pay attention to what their eyes see, yes, I am sunburnt.
Yes, Joe is
And
very
Matt
sunburnt.
is only slightly.
I'm only
well
slightly.
burnt.
I am well burnt.
Yeah.
So, and then you have the actual sunburn.
Yeah, I got it bad. I got it real bad. I was smart enough to put suntan lotion on my knees and my shins though, since I was sitting facing the ocean. So I don't have like sunburnt knees and shins and feet, but I
was
do
saying, you ever
have-
burn your feet real bad? Because I did that once. It's
never-
terrible.
I've never burned my stomach before, so I'm like, my stomach's just
Nah.
invincible to burning. That's how this works.
I burned
so
my
didn't
feet
bother.
really bad one time. It was terrible.
That's a bad one. I've done that before.
Uh,
But yeah, we're here to answer questions about late model Ford, Mustang, F-150, Fusion,
Chevy, Dodge, all the things.
all Rangers on 87 octane.
Hey, he loves that tune, by the way.
All of it.
I still got 18 PSI out of it.
That works. We got Dan Adamzik. Hey guys. Hi Dan.
Hello.
Mustang lover. How are you
All right,
guys?
Excellent.
We're good. We're both slightly sunburned.
Chad
me more so
Robertson,
than
send
him.
me my blower.
I don't know who Chad Robertson is.
I don't know either, but I bet if we looked it up in the sales order queue, it would be there.
Ooh.
If we haven't sent your blower, we're waiting on something, but I don't know. Look at Joe. Joe's gonna look it up now. Waiting. It's for a blower. Photo listed.
But that's 2018.
Oh,
So he may not have anything new in Zendesk.
maybe he didn't order a blower and he just wants a blower.
Ooh, that might be it.
Oh.
I like where your head's at.
Maybe he's tricking us. Maybe we're just gonna send him a blower.
Yeah, maybe reach out to sales. Because I can't find anything for it.
All joking aside, if you ordered a blower and it hasn't shipped yet, that probably means we're waiting on it because we don't sit on things very long.
Victor Xavier or Victor Javier. Hey guys, hope all is well. Joe, you still addicted to chocolate milk? I am.
Absolutely.
It's a problem. I have been drinking more strawberry milk lately though.
Ooh.
Is it a problem? No, I don't think it is. Promised Land has a really magical strawberry milk.
I know you get upset with me over it, but I mean, I tried it. It was delicious, but it's a bit strong. It's high test.
strong.
It's high test chocolate milk.
You got to be ready for the way it hits.
So yeah, so I describe chocolate milk to me is you start off with the white milk and you hit it with the Hershey syrup. So I'm used to just like a quick little squirt,
Brian over here.
you know, and then Promised Land is like.
I'll have to send you a video one of my buddies tagged me in. My buddy Austin tagged me in a video earlier. It's good. I'll send it
Travis
to you.
Schott. What do you guys think about the new Mach 1? And what that was, it says Mach 1 and what the debut has told. I haven't looked in great detail, but I'm disappointed it doesn't have a shaker hood.
I really, really badly wanted a naturally aspirated GT500 engine, essentially a
That's what
5.2XS, and I feel like a lot of other people wanted that.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I guess it didn't make financial business sense for Ford to do that.
Maybe they couldn't.
I can't blame them because that's
Yeah.
that's emissions testing an entirely different engine for one vehicle.
Correct.
And
I get that. At the same time, and like I said, I'm looking at the new Edge. Like Euro 3, Euro 4, Mach 1, the difference between the base model GT and the Mach 1 was substantial. I mean, it was handling, it was performance, it was gauges, it was
Brakes.
seats, it was brakes, it was the appearance. There was a lot. This thing just kind of seems to fall short, in my opinion.
yeah.
And like I said, and I'm sorry, it's not a Mach 1 without a shaker. The 70s had the shaker, the 0304s had the shaker. It's just what it should have had to make it a Mach 1. That's what made it a Mach 1, in my opinion.
Devil's
was
advocate,
the hood.
Was it like a collision testing thing that they couldn't really change?
Oh, I'm
the
sure
hood
there's a
visually?
reason that they didn't. I'm just saying that without no shaker, no care.
Yeah, I can get behind that. And it sucks because I know there's probably a bunch of people at Ford that wanted it to be that way too.
I'm sure it wasn't forgotten.
Yeah, I'm sure everything that we're complaining about, there's also someone in Ford complaining that it didn't happen. But at the end of the day, the bills get paid one way, and that's taking in money and not spending a whole lot on.
I see
what
Brian
you're
over here
putting out.
Control-Zing. Did you see that?
I missed it. It's all
I saw
good.
like this whole thing disappear, and then I hear, oh shit, and then it pops back up again.
Sometimes I make mistakes.
So I was like, I see Brian
That's
over
what
here
Control-Z's
Control-Zing.
for. Undo the mistakes. We got D-Man Dimitri.
Wawa doesn't carry the milk anymore.
It makes me sad. I wonder if it was like a COVID thing or it didn't make business sense for them. All the people that wanted to get chocolate milk couldn't come to get the milk and it all went bad. Like, how sad is that?
I don't know.
Then we got Dan Adam. 2012 GT500 almost ready for blower swap and fuel system for E85 VMP Gen 2 R24.
Uh-oh.
Should be a fun setup, man.
That's going to hit hard.
Twin Force Fusion, Olaf from Canada. Pedal to the metal.
Eh?
Damn right there, eh? Mustang Love. So what's the best tune for 2005 Roush Stage 3 Supercharger Mustang?
Us.
Yeah, we have a
Completely
very...
unbiased, of course.
Exactly. We have a very good idea of what needs to happen with those. If it's completely stock, we probably won't require a wideband on it. If you've done anything cold air intake or injector related, we'll probably want to see a wideband on it. And Chad Robertson, laughing my ass off. I ordered it through HPJ Performance. That's probably why I couldn't find it then.
Okay.
Cat 1 DSM, Bud. Hey guys, 2012 GT Gen 2 blower already tuned on E85 with supporting fuel system with 79mm pulley. Having Gen 2 short block done, can I go to a 75 or 72 without any issues? So I don't think there's ever a circumstance that we can say without any issues. With that being
Say that's
said,
loose. Yeah. Can you? Yeah. Should you?
yeah, it's Gen 2 short block is definitely stronger than your stock Gen 1 11-12 short block. But I'd want to see a set of head studs in there. If you're wanting to go crazy on that boost level, don't put stock head bolts back in it, especially if they're in a Gen 2 block. But with the right supporting mods, there's plenty of people out there that run a 75 or 72mm pulley and don't have issues for a long time.
Do it.
Barry Farmer, 2.3
yeah.
Whipple, 2014 Mustang. I'm remote tuned by VMP through Archangel, and the car dies when coming to a stop. Not all the time, but probably 60% of the time. It works every time. What could be causing this? I'd start off by getting a data log and sending it to us.
Yeah, I mean,
really
that
the
does
only way to
occasionally
tell.
happen. It's usually a fairly simple thing to fix. Just reach out to, if it was remote tuned through our channel, he's not going to know which one of us did it.
I think that was Mike.
Yeah, we had talked about it. I don't know if we ever actually confirmed it, but probably reach out to Mike or just start a sales ticket.
Because
And
at the end of the day, we can't fix a problem we don't know about.
yeah, it just should be some quick data logging and we'll get it fixed up for you. It shouldn't be that big of a deal at all.
Tim Obas, hey you guys. By
Hey,
the way,
you
James
guys.
is having driver difficulties with his laptop to data log. Any suggestions to solve this issue?
Driver difficulties, SCT would be able to help you out on that.
Yeah, exactly. SCT can get you squared away on driver issues.
I too had driver issues, and I too had to call SCT, and they remoted in and
go,
fixed
beep, boop, boop.
and they fixed it.
You know, I really think that if they could just solve that one problem, they'd probably cut down on half their call volume.
Yeah, because
SCT, if you're listening, for those in the back,
fix your drivers.
fix the driver issues, and you won't have people calling all the time. Robert Lee, it's my first time tuning it. Looking to get a supercharger soon for 2019 Mustang GT. Why get an Odin over a Whipple?
Intake errors.
One could say that we're
IATs.
biased. I don't know if we're necessarily the ones you want to ask on that, but we can say that the Odin performs very well.
The
And
Odin
that's
performs
about all I can
very
say
well.
about that. Austin Brooks. Joe, you look a little red. Austin,
Yep.
you're part of the reason why I look red, so. Because Austin was with me at the beach. Both of our
Oh.
ladies sitting in our chairs, minding our business. William Hunt, probably too many people using chocolate milk and cereal, so they ran out. See,
Oh
William,
my God, that's like sugar overload.
that's all I had in the fridge. I
Oh.
already poured my Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch with chocolate milk.
Yeah,
Oh my
it was,
God, you have diabetes now.
Yeah,
Diabetes.
yeah.
Wow, dude. That's
Promised Land chocolate milk
like, wow.
and Cinnamon Toast Crunch,
It's
dude.
so, oh my God. I'd have to put like French fries in it or something just to get some salt.
Yeah, it's.
Chocolate Toast Crunch.
I love chocolate milk and I love Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but I don't recommend it. It was super, super sweet.
That's what I mean. It's like, oh my God.
With that said, that's probably why they ran out, William. Pedro Alvarado. Hey, hi guys. Is the tune for 18 manifold same for ported 18 manifold? Yes, it's the same.
Yep, there's nothing we really have to change calibration-wise for a ported manifold.
Yeah, if you're talking Mustangs, the basically 1996 to 2020, all Mustangs, unless you're including the 2020 GT500, all Mustangs with a V8 are MAF based.
Yes.
And the mass airflow sensor sees the increased airflow and makes all the changes it needs to make.
Yep.
R4, would you guys tune an 03 Mach 1 with a fuel system and cams? Not sure if that's something you need on a dyno. It really
Yeah.
depends on what injectors and stuff you're running in it. If you're one of those guys that has a naturally aspirated Mach 1 and you think you need 80s, we're not going to bother tuning that. But depending on what's all done in the fuel system, what cams are in it, that's usually not something that we have to have on a dyno to tune. Kevin Lasauter, is Justin Starkey Cooper Baghetti's dad? Just wondering. I think they're going through the process of getting DNA testing done right now, just to see if
I don't know what the hell
Justin-
you're talking about.
we're talking about.
I didn't understand this question.
Cletus McFarlane's Frank Cooper.
Yeah.
He's driving the GT500 to Rocky
Oh.
Mountain.
So if you've never seen
Put
him,
them side
Oh.
by side.
Oh.
He just saw it in his mind.
I haven't watched the video. Is that him?
doesn't he kind of look like?
Yeah, yeah. I'll give you that.
Kind of looks
Oh, look
like
at him right
Justin.
there in the car.
Yeah, like right there.
Yeah,
That could be a Justin right there.
I get it.
See? See?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so they're going through DNA testing right now. It's
Jesus.
not factual, but it's fun to talk about. Richard Claudia Gonzalez, 20. Did you got this one?
2017 Mustang GT Roush charged by you. Where's the rest of it?
I don't know.
Oh. Okay.
Thanks. Austin
I hope
Gobble.
you're happy. I didn't. Sorry, like it cut off there. I hope you're happy with it.
Mm-hmm.
Joe's like, here, you got this, and I'm like,
I'll give you another
boring.
one. Have that. Condoms.
It's if you feel that you, what do you say? If you feel that you need them, do them.
If you have any questions as to whether or not you should have them,
You should have them.
probably have them. If you-
It really boils down to if you're, first of all, if it's an auto or a manual, and second, if you're running around banging rev limiters left and right, put oil pump gears in it.
Alright,
If you're not, you'll probably be okay.
so I'm just gonna interject this question in here now
Okay.
because this one's gonna hurt some feelings.
You
Okay.
hit me
It's
with
gonna
it.
really hurt some feelings. And Joe, I just want you to know that if you're too triggered by this, I will ban this person. Okay. All right. Here we go. This next comment coming in.
Oh, look at it. He's.
Oh, so
Stephanie
that's-
Brooks at Promised Land is yuck.
She's
See, well,
she was at the beach with us as well, and
how many
Yeah.
people? You also started off with just Ash and I went to the beach. Then this other person showed up. Now we got Stephanie. How many people were there at the beach?
We gotta tell you everyone? I thought we had a trusting relationship.
You just keep adding people to the story.
So,
Okay.
Austin.
And
Austin
so-and-so was there
Brooks.
too.
So there's only 4 of us. Austin
Okay.
Brooks, Stephanie Brooks, me, and Ashley. But I had
that's so
Stephanie
weird.
try Promised Land, and she wasn't a fan.
I
She likes-
didn't.
She likes other milk more. I won't
Just
name
said-
names.
I get it. I'm just
Another
saying,
brand that she
I
likes.
don't care for it a whole lot either. It's just not really, it's too sweet for me.
And this is why he wants to see other people.
Yeah. This is why we have different taste in milk. Joel Steen, just a quick question, guys. Can I install your PMP booster pump in my 2019 GT, or does it require voltage change to the PCM? So the only table that I could think that you would have to even possibly manipulate would be there's like a desired voltage table for pressure versus fuel flow. And in my experience, changing that doesn't seem to have a really
Huge
noticeable effect
Yeah.
on how the car runs. So to that extent, I don't know that I should say it requires a voltage change to the PCM. But you can install one of our booster pump setups in a 2019 GT. And then the same, Joel, looks like I lost weight, have a pizza. I'll have to put myself on a scale because I don't think I lost weight. I think it's, maybe it's the tan.
It's the tan.
It's the tan. We'll go with that. 50 Primo, how much does a VMP heat exchanger actually drop your IETs on a Roush supercharger? So what we'll call sustained wide open throttle, your IET delta through the course of a pole probably isn't going to be much different.
It's going to recover a lot faster.
Exactly. The whole thing behind our heat exchangers is the recovery times, and that's why they have fans on them, and that's why they have more capacity. Because we have an increased capacity, it takes a little bit longer for the heat to get put into the fluid,
Right.
or it takes longer for the heat to get put into the air and then transferred into the amount of fluid we have. So it kind of takes the amount of time it takes to put heat into the system a bit longer. So your ITs may be noticeably different slightly through the course of a pole, but the bigger gain is how quickly it recovers from putting heat into the water. Because it has, like, we'll go to a track, we'll make a pole or a pass, we'll go back to the staging lane, shut the car off.
Yes.
Like everyone has to on a test and 2 night.
Correct.
And when you turn your car back on, none of that heat was being pulled out of the system if you have an unfanned factory Roush heat exchanger, the little teeny tiny guy. So you go to start your car back up and it's still hot. You go to start your car back up after letting the fans run on the VMP heat exchanger for 2-3 minutes. All of a sudden your IETs are significantly lower because the fluid temperature has dropped that whole time you were sitting, as opposed to it decaying out very, very slowly over a longer period of time. So the short of it is your recovery time goes down
Right.
significantly.
The amount of heat that is pulled out of the fluid, it does that at a faster rate.
Mm-hmm. Pedro Alvarado, thank you guys. Curious what your thoughts are on the new Mach 1. I think we
addressed that.
kind of already addressed that in the beginning.
Rewind.
Exactly. You got this one.
It's
Fire
Mustang Guru. Just got the update tune for my 15 Roush RS3 Stage 1 to 2, 730 horsepower. I'll load it tonight and send you another log tomorrow. You guys are great. Thank you.
We appreciate you.
I don't think I'm doing an RS3 right now.
I think Mike
I
is
think
doing
that's
that one because he was
Mike.
talking to me about one earlier.
So make sure you tell him it's stalling. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
Damn it. John Smith, so what fuel system would you recommend for an 04 Mach 1 with a Vortec on 93 with about, say, 10 PSI? Factory fuel pump with a booster.
Yep. That
It
will
would
get
be-
you where you need to be.
Yeah, that's what I do on a setup like that. Mike Moore.
Gone are the days of the focus pumps, man. God, that was the greatest drop-in ever.
Yep.
They used to be like
Aviator
$80.
pumps.
Used to be $80, and you can just throw it in there. It was plug and play.
Drop it in and send it.
Now it's gone.
Got Odin installed over the weekend and stock file sent over to Michelle. Getting excited now. Such an easy install for anybody that's thinking about doing it.
Excellent.
Glad to hear you enjoyed the install on Odin.
Yeah, not having to grind stuff is a huge plus.
Yeah, I think Michelle forwarded me over your stock file. You'll probably have something today or tomorrow on that. And Bad Boss Racing, hoping to run a good 14.7 and 96 this Saturday with my full bolt-on Boss 302.
I hope it goes faster than
Dear
that.
God, I hope faster. Unless maybe we're talking like Colorado or something.
I don't know because my 2000 GT ran that stock.
But did it run it at 7,000 feet in Colorado?
No, I'm just saying it ran that stock, so that all like 200 horsepower of it.
Bad Boss Racing, so I have to ask Joe, did Derek bring you any chocolate milk? He didn't. It's a big letdown. That's why Justin had to tune it. We couldn't be friends. That's not true, but you know, whatever. Ruby the Obnoxious 5.0. Fire away, man.
Ruby the Obnoxious 5.0. What horsepower numbers would I see putting an Odin kit on my full bolt-on 19 GT on 93 pump gas? We have been seeing, what is our official numbers
Wait, is
on
that auto or manual?
Oh, it doesn't matter, Joe. Come on now.
Oh, bother.
Because I'm just going to
So-
give them a window anyway.
Yeah, this is true. So
What is our official numbers on the 93?
So he said Odin, so that means
Yes.
it's Twin 69, R Cold Air, FIC 1000s.
Yeah.
If he's going with the what we'll call standard pulley, or what we're recommending for most people, which is an 88, should make 11 to 12 pounds of boost depending on how he's spinning it. And most of them with headers make about 700 to 710 wheel.
Okay.
Without headers, it'd probably be in the 670, 690 range.
I figured high sixes, but I wasn't sure. I don't want to tell people 7. There's a chance it'll make 7. I think our official numbers on it are in the northern 600s territory.
Well, Joe...
Depends on your quality of pump gas as well.
Yeah, and then you get the people that'll be like, well, Joe, the 15 to 17 cars make that sometimes on cars. Yeah, they're 11.2 to 1.
Versus 12 to 1.
They run fine on 93 pump gas, and when you don't have to rely upon direct injection to maintain whether or not something knocks on 93, then things get real easy.
When you're making close to 700 tire on pump gas, that's still impressive. I don't care who you are.
Reef Johnson, hey guys, question. VMP sent me an MS-109 tune. I installed it, fired it up, and overfueled right away, smoking out the back. Is there a chance the plugs fouled right away? So
No.
something's not right there, because the car didn't overfuel on an MS-109 tune. There's not such a significant amount different in an MS-109 tune that your car overfueled and fouled plugs. I feel like something else is going on there, or something else changed that you're not accounting for. But I suggest reaching out to whoever sent you the tune and being.
I feel like
discussing
he
the
was.
situation
I
with
feel
him.
like he was talking to Mike, because this sounds familiar to me. Because I remember Mike saying something about this. Like, but I want to say it was a while ago though.
Johnson. Yep, I got nothing. So
Well, either way,
that's-
you would want to talk to Mike, or not Mike, but talk to whoever was tuning it.
Which may be Mike, but
Which
we
might
don't
be
know
Mike.
for sure.
And then
Maybe sending some logs, because that doesn't make sense.
But it's to directly answer your question is no, you're not going to instantly foul plugs like that.
No.
So
And especially since most people that are switching to MS-109, chances are they still have the same fuel
right.
in the rails that they had before they flashed a different tune
Correct.
on.
And there's not a big enough difference, stoic points
No, I
between
think
the two.
it's, what, 13.4 versus 14.08?
One could argue that he could technically just load his 93 tune back in it and see if it runs okay on the 93 tune.
Yeah, you could.
So you could also try that. Put the 93 tune back in it and see if it starts and runs okay on the 93 tune. If it doesn't, you've got something going on. If it does start run okay on the 93 tune, then there's something happened to the MS-109 tune. Maybe it got corrupted.
Yeah.
It happens.
1341, so you're not talking about a big difference
No,
there.
not at all. So try and fire it up on the 93 tune. See what it does. Report back. Joe's actually doing the math on this.
So
Five.
5-6%
A little bit less,
difference.
4.5%
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah, so that didn't cause your car to foul plugs.
No. So that's, I mean, that'll rule out the tune at all altogether. If he puts it back on the 93 tune and it still runs like that, there's an issue.
Something wrong.
We too low.
5-0 Primo, love the segment, thanks for the info.
No
glad to hear you
problem.
like it, man. We've been doing it for quite a while now. Just trying to help people get accurate information on what works, what doesn't, and what to do to their cars. Topper Harley, Joe 13 GT500 tuned by you, 2.4 mono. No meow with a 123 that keeps idle searching but cleared up with the mono. Now at idle, it's hanging once it gets warm and bounces less with the mono. I'd suggest sending me a log of what you're referring to. It got kind of confusing there in the middle. But
I thought he was
log would
Super
probably
Troopers
help.
rest. I thought he was just K-meow.
Meow. I like how he's doing that, and I see what he did there,
Yeah,
and
meow.
I'd prefer that over how some other people say
Yeah.
that.
K-meow.
So the guy Reef Johnson
Yes.
said that it ran fine on 93.
So there is something wrong with the tune then. Oh, well,
Yeah.
not run fine on 93 fuel. I'm saying with MS-109 in the tank, load the 93 tune and see how it runs.
Yeah,
you
so
go.
reload the 93 tune on that you had previous to putting
If it
MS-109
still
in
runs
the tune.
poorly, then it's not the tune. If it runs fine on the 93 tune, then it is the tune.
Mm-hmm.
And we can go from there.
And then we can see if something got
Something-
boogered up on the export or something.
Something wrong. I had it happen.
Mm-hmm. And is that all the questions we have for now? Should we go off on a tangent? Oh, Brian's question. I almost forgot the most
I will
important question.
never ever forget Brian's question.
I appreciate that.
I
forgot.
enjoy Brian's question.
Fire away,
I
Papa.
appreciate you guys. All right, so follow me on this one for a second.
Oh,
I'll
he's got
follow
to
you
set
down
the
that
stage.
road.
All right, there's a there's a book called The Art of War, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Heard about it, never read it.
It's like the main theme of the book is like once you see the way broadly, you see it in all things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And meaning like once you figure out that like you have to start from nothing and get to the top, you see that in everything, right?
Right.
So like in fighting and even in like skateboarding, right,
Mhm.
or in guitar playing, there's certain ways to like throw a right hook or to like do a kick flip or to play a G chord, right?
Correct.
There's like certain ways to do these things.
Correct.
But each artist, if you will, which is why it's called martial arts,
Yes.
puts their own like Mike Tyson. His right hook is not like anybody's in the world, you know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Because he's a monster, right?
Yes.
And so, and I mean that with all due respect, in case
Yeah.
you're listening, Mike. Yes. Or like Tony Hawk when he does a kickflip. It's like
Right.
you can tell who the skater is by their silhouette.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Correct.
So, now that all that is said, is that also in tuning, that
Yes.
thing, that creative thing, or
Yes.
is it all just numbers?
And there's also people that do intentional artifacting, like I do.
Yep.
Okay, explain. What's this?
So there's certain areas of files where you can put stuff
That doesn't affect.
that doesn't affect how the car actually runs. So,
It's like a signature.
yeah.
I know exactly what Joe's talking about because I used to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So there's certain sections of a tune where if you wanna sign the tune, so you want to know if it's your tune later on. You go into a section of the file that has no effect on how the car runs whatsoever, and you pick just one. It might be a transient fuel table
Sure.
that you would never ever use, and you pick the bottom right corner of that table and you just change it to 100. Then in the future, if he ever has a read of that tune, or if another shop sends him a read of a tune or something like that, he can look in that file and say, there's my signature, that's my tune.
Oh, that's so cool.
Because I used to
man.
do and occasionally still do the same thing. Absolutely.
Okay.
You can do it one step farther where you can do it from a programmer point of view, you can do it in a hex address. That's how tools tell if stuff is married or not. I know, like, because I used to work at Diablo, so I use it for example. Whenever a Diablo tool writes a tune, the device writes a small section of hex, and I believe they use like the original owner's birthday or something. It's some weird, just a block of 4 bytes, and they call it the marriage byte, and it writes this little block of data. So then later on, when the Diablo reads the file out, it checks, and if it sees that there, it goes, I've been tuned before, and it rejects it. They won't let you tune it because it's already been tuned. So that happens. And then to a third view, or a third aspect of what you're talking about is all of your tuners, whether good or bad, have their little flair, or their little way of doing things. We were actually talking about this the other day. where Joe and I can look at certain files and we can have an idea on who made the file just because of the way it's written.
So it's like the
Yes.
silhouette of the kickflip or Mike Tyson throwing a
Yes,
punch.
so it's like, it's not always a dead thing, but it's
Okay.
like, I mean, basically to use an example, like I can tell, and Joe can as well, if you were to look at a Lund file, you can kind of have an idea, I bet Lund tuned this car because he does things a certain way. Then you can look at another file and you say, I bet Bajonas or Palm Beach Dyno did this
Right.
one because it's done a certain way. Each one
Sure.
has their own little unique,
So
rather,
right. Right.
not necessarily right or wrong, just
Yeah.
in tuning, your final goal is to make the car run or drive or perform a certain way. You can accomplish that multiple different ways.
Sure.
There's right ways, there's wrong ways, there's ways that you should. There's and I use should usually because there's ways of using factory logic to acquire what your final goal. So there's multiple different ways to get to your final goal, and just some people take different paths, and the way things are changed inside the file, you can tell who went down what path.
So then are there like, I guess this is just like a side thing to the, kind of this, along the same lines as the first question. Is there like a, not like a, I guess almost like sort of like an unspoken code amongst tuners, like these are the ethics, we all know this is the good side, and we all know this is the bad side, and if do you see what I'm saying here?
I wouldn't say that's a thing, because that would assume that everyone's taught on the same basic school of thought or the
Right.
same basic tuning morals.
Right.
And there's a lot of people out there that know by doing, not by learning.
Correct.
From a teacher.
Right.
So there's some people out there that have done things wrong their entire time tuning, but they don't know it's wrong. So that's where it's like, is it bad if you don't know it's bad? Or is it evil if you don't know it's evil?
I would say yes. If I would, okay, here, this is where I would argue this.
Ooh.
So that if, say, like the tuner, say me, all right? Say I'm the tuner, okay? I've been tuning my whole life up to this point, and I've been doing it wrong the whole time. And I'm like, hey, Joe, could you check out my tune and, like, just look at this?
Give myself an aneurysm.
Right, yes, exactly, yeah. And then you're like, oh my God, this is garbage, right? I would say that, like, yes, if you know more than me and you could make my car run more efficient, then your way is the right way, and I've been doing it wrong. If you can make it run more efficient.
By that line of logic, there is a good way and there's a bad way, but to what I remember being the other part of your question is, do people necessarily know they're doing it the wrong way? No.
Right, okay.
No, I mean there's stuff that, I mean Joe and I both, there's still things that we do that.
I thought you were going to bring Hellcat tuners into the fold.
No,
Of what they've had to do.
Well, there's that goes back to there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Yeah.
So, what I was going to say, I lost my train of thought. But what I was going to say is to this day, Joe and I are far from experts. So it's like we arrive at that goal a certain way, and I would say for the most part we do it the correct way and the accurate way. But I'm sure there's things that you never stop learning in this ever. So I'm sure there's still things that we could be doing better.
But hold on, time out though. Just I understand what you're doing.
Right.
I get it. You're humble. All right? I understand.
Yeah,
we're here.
So in the grand scheme of what tools we have available to us, in comparison with the people that actually write all the code and the C files for the OEM PCMs,
yeah, we're just peanuts.
We're working with a very small percent of what they have available to them.
I understand, but my only point is that I think if I need anything to do with a car, you two and Mike are who I'm going to, like.
In the
you
grand
guys
scheme
are
of
my
the general
experts.
populace,
We're
experts compared to a lot of people.
Right.
But there are people that know more.
For sure.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I'm a guitar teacher, but obviously, my heroes know more than me. You know what I'm saying? But I would, in some such of a way, we're all experts.
Yeah, and you're right. And using the guitar references, you're significantly better than the average public.
Yeah,
but that doesn't mean that how you do certain things, that doesn't make them automatically right. It makes it work.
In fact, if I played for one of my heroes, they'd be like, "I'm pretty sure you're doing that wrong, dude." And I'm like,
Right.
"Teach me."
And that's what
please
kind of my point
teach."
is that you don't know that you're
Yeah.
doing it wrong because you
Right.
don't know any better.
Right,
Nobody
right,
ever
right.
taught you. You're just trial and error
make it
until
work.
somebody that does know more than you comes along and goes, "Hey, you're doing this wrong," and that's why we never stop learning.
All right, full circle. There we go, kids.
It's a circle.
All right.
Ta-da.
And eventually, there's going to be young whippersnappers coming up that will know more than us as well, and hopefully they will have learned it the hard way.
Nope. Because everyone already had to learn it the hard way.
Yeah, I just told Joe that the other day. I said, I hope to one day learn something that's not the hard way. Because I've learned everything the hard way. So, do we get any questions spin off from that? Because we kind of went on a ramble.
It looks like it. It looks like he has stuff highlighted. I assume that stuff he has highlighted was the last thing he copied in. Is there anything worth asking in there?
He's doing a quick perusing.
He is. I can see him. He's doing
He's
the
in
thing.
scan mode.
This isn't a question about like what we talked about, but it's a good question.
Okay. Fire away. J.D. Whitman is typing.
Jamie, have stage 2 Whipple on a 16 Mustang. Should long tube headers and tune gain more than 40 wheel horsepower?
No, that sounds about right.
Yeah, and I mean, I've seen some gain less than that.
Yeah, I would say 20 to 40 is about right for a long tube on a boosted car. That's about right.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Also follow up. So, was that the end of that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Follow up the Reef Johnson, the 93 with the 109.
Mm-hmm.
He said I left the MS 109 in.
And it started up on the 93 tank. So that it sounds like
And
there was
ran.
something wrong. Something got corrupted on that tune. Needs to reach out to
So
whoever's
he
tuning.
left the MS-109 in, and then he what?
He said okay, so the original question, right?
Yeah.
You guys told him to run on, he said it ran fine on 93, then you told him to put the 93 tune in and also leave the 109 in, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so
And then
leave the MS-109 in the tank, put the 93 tune on.
Right, and then that was his follow-up question. I left the MS 109 in.
So he is saying it ran okay on the 93 tune with MS-109 in the tank.
That's what.
In which case there is something wrong with the MS-109 tune.
That's what I
Yeah,
think.
so
Get with
either something
your-
on the export or the decimals in the wrong place for stoic point.
Been
One
there,
of the
done
two.
that.
One of the two happened. So yeah, reach out to whoever sent you the file, get them to look through it, and then we can re-export it and send it over to you. Should
What's
be
a
an easy
decimal
fix.
place between friends?
The stoic point is a pretty big thing.
So it is on an air charge too.
Yep. Ooh, I remember you telling me about that.
Yep, I did
You
that
got
one.
lucky. You got lucky.
I thank God that car was on E85.
Oh,
Okay,
man.
hold on. Here we go. Here's a big follow-up from Reef right here. Hold on.
Big follow. Look at that.
I'm gonna let you guys.
All the highlight. I see it over here.
The Control C, Control V happening over there.
There you go.
It's gonna freeze his computer. It's so big.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. I'm like, why is it not popping up?
Yeah, it's below.
Reef Johnson. Mike sent the MS-109 tune. I installed it. It was fine. It's shooting a random misfire for the first time shooting a number 4 cylinder misfire. That's why I was wondering if Foul the Plug would do this because I ran on the corrupt file.
Oh, see, this is where we got the rest of the information here.
Yeah.
So, depending on how long you ran it on a corrupt file, you could have possibly fouled a plug. So basically, he's saying that he has a fixed tune that is now better, but it still has a misfire issue.
Yeah. So now that we have the full picture,
Right.
it's possible
Well,
that you have a fouled plug.
plugs are cheap. Try it.
Pull the plug out, see what it looks like, see what it do.
I would. I'd throw a set of plugs at it.
Yeah. Dave Franks, hey guys, my engine on a dyno makes peak power and torque at 6,100 RPM. My peak RPM supposedly 6,500. Does 6,100 become my new peak RPM? What
Nope.
should I pulley this lower? Should I pulley this to lower RPM? 4.75 mmR built stroker, 220 or 2200 SL, 3.3 pulley, 12% overdrive, 07 GT stick car. Thanks for your help with this. What do you think, Matt?
No, he's about right. So if your peak horsepower, I don't know how your peak horsepower and your peak torque are at 6,100 at the same time.
That's very strange.
It's a Century. That's why it's still climbing. And then it noses over. Okay, so that being said, generally speaking, this is a really rough ballpark here,
Mm-hmm.
you want to shift the car approximately 500 RPM past your peak power, especially on a Century car, because when you're shifting it, you're dropping, the lower the RPM it is, the less boost you have available to you.
Mm-hmm.
So, if your peak power is at 61, I would absolutely leave your red line at 6,500, if that is what you're asking. I would even shift it a little higher, to be honest with you. But, what you looking up?
The next one.
Oh, so yeah, you want to shift past peak power whenever possible, especially on a Century car, if that answers your question. And then Joe's looking up the next one. I didn't see what the next one was, though.
Here I go reading ahead. I don't see him in the system.
Who are you looking for?
So we got
Oh,
Caleb Vernon. Had Mike tuning my car, was doing a third gear pull, let off at 105, and immediately downshifted to first. It's quite the experience. Installed.
There's a recall for that.
There is for
6
was
or
it
80 car.
F-150s?
Yeah, Mustangs did it too.
Okay. Installed another tune. It never done it again. Went to get a dyno tune after that. What could have happened? I'd have to see the file. And I
Yeah,
don't see the name of
there's
the
a
system.
recall for that too, for a different output shaft speed sensor and a calibration change in it. I know this was affected because I was working at Diablo at the time that recall came out, and I thought I was going to add new calibrations till my eyes were bleeding. Because Ford rolled out like because every time there was a new calibration available, I had to add support for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I was going to die. There was so many. So basically everything with a 6R80 got affected by this. Basically what happens is when you're driving, the output shaft speed sensor loses signal, and it thinks
it's at zero.
it thinks you came to a stop, so it downshifts first. So the recall was, I believe, there was an output shaft speed sensor upgrade on certain ones, and also there was a calibration change that prevented it, where if it did see zero, it wouldn't immediately downshift.
Mm-hmm. Probably like a residence timer type thing.
Yes. So what I would do if I were you is I would throw a newer output shaft speed sensor in it just for a peace of mind. Our base files that we use, I don't honestly know if they're based on old calibrations or new calibrations. I'm going to assume they're newer. So I would probably just swap the sensor, and I don't think you'll ever have that problem again.
It depends on what year it is. Of 15 to 17 car, we used the stock strategy that came with it, which I don't think 15 to 17 was affected by it.
No.
I think it was 11 to 14.
What year is his, though?
I don't know. That's the thing.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, this
He
was
didn't
more of
list
an
year,
11 to
I can't
14.
find
This
it.
was more of an 11 to 14
Mm-hmm.
situation. And yes, it was more predominantly trucks than anything.
Mm-hmm.
But the cars did get recalls
Mm-hmm.
as far as calibration updates. It
Yeah.
just kind of depends.
And then
So put an OSS in it.
221. Yeah, put an OSS in it. And
A Ford Motorcraft updated OSS. Not Borg Warner from Advanced Auto Parts.
exactly.
Please.
And I think that's it. Is that it, Brian? Okay. Well, with that, we're out of here.
A lot
You
of
guys have any questions? Try and think of stuff.
a lot of
Catch us
information
next
got
week.
thrown around.
Yeah, right?
It's like running
And
down the wall.
Thursday is a Burnout box. You can ask Justin or Rebecca any questions you have. If you have questions about when parts are going to release, what parts are coming, all that type of stuff, those are good questions to ask them.
Yes.
And if you want to see some previous episodes, it's your first time checking in or something, hit the subscribe button. You'll get notifications on any new episodes, and
Like,
you can
share,
also check out
subscribe.
any of the old ones. We have 3 seasons worth of episodes in there. You guys can get some information from.
There's
Lots of
playlists and
information.
stuff on YouTube.
Yeah.
Find them all.
Old B-Rise got you with playlists and stuff. And
Facts.
yeah, until then, next Tuesday we'll see you guys, same time, 1:30-ish, and have a good night, guys.
Yay.